Hi guys, my name is Wilfred and this game is called The Guardians of Ember. So a while ago, when I was making my videos for Marvel Heroes Omega, some of you have asked me if I could check out this game, and I've tried to do that back then because I can read Chinese, so I wanted to just play the Taiwanese version, but somehow they shut it down, and because I think they're trying to sell it on Steam for the Western market. So I've got this is a free weekend. So I've given a try, a couple hours, play it. So I'm just going to play a little bit of Guardians of Ember, and after that, my wife is on her way as well. She's coming over to me. We lock off in a different place. So it is more like a ARPG in some sense. There are some ability and so on. It is a bit like how should I say, a bit like World of Warcraft, whereby you could, there's some quests to do as well, and it kind of reminds me a little bit like the Guild War 2 as well, because there are some public events, like right now there are some public events that happen and so on. So I thought it is a nice mix of everything. That is probably my first assessment. And from the character perspective, there are a couple of things as well. There are attributes like prestige, bravery, blood, and focus, and each of them has even like a deeper kind of like buff to the damage in various different ways. I think it's going to be something more for the end game. I think right now I haven't really encountered any situation whereby I can do any of these things. So that's my wife. She's playing. By the way, I'm playing a Dark Knight and she's playing a Arcanist, which is more like a mage. Yeah, so back to this thing here, there are a couple of things like attack, defense, healing, whatnot. But I think if you take a look at the detail part of it, it's kind of overwhelming in some sense, because there are some mastery in certain weapon that you use. I suppose if you use a certain weapon that matches with the mastery, you kind of get the buff in somehow. I think weapon-wise you can do almost anything, everything, but yeah, I mean you can pick any weapon and use. I suppose like right now I'm using an axe as well as shield, but you could actually do like my wife is doing like a mace right now. I think you can just go around doing your quest. Oh, I've done the quest for you. Yeah, so that is probably one of the things that you could do. There's a whole tons of different damage type of it. I'm a Dark Knight, so I think it's more like dark and toxic kind of thing that I'm using. So I presume I'll just go for those damage accordingly. There's penetration as well, very much like World of Warcraft, I think, in a sense. Decrease resistance of the enemy, which is kind of nice, and you're resistant against the damage type against you, and the stuns as well. So in terms of stat wise, from a theory crafting point of view, it's rather interesting. A lot of stats to play around with. There's crit as well. There's hit chance, very much like World of Warcraft as well in the old day, whereby some of the I don't think it's miss, but it's more of like dodge. So other enemies against you, the dodge against you will decrease if you have a better hit chance in some sense. So there's a part of it. I mean, there's quite a lot of things going on with the profession and kind of outfit and stuff like that. There are fishing and exploration, bait and mining. Exploration, mining, and fishing, very much like World of Warcraft as well. But I think more so I'd like to show you is also some of the maybe just let's just keep walking first and and do something while I'm like So yeah, I mean, this is my wife, and the Arcanist is always kind of nice. It's a kind of like it's very much like a Diablo 3 as well, because it's the left click, right click kind of thing, and the kind of like ability that you could use. There are 5 extra ability that you could use, and I'll talk a little bit about those ability in just a bit, because they are quite an interesting option, like a health kind of like like a power rank kind of thing that we used to have in Marvel Heroes in the good old days. So yeah. In a way, it's kind of interesting. Let's just go into maybe why don't we just do one of the dungeon as well? But before a dungeon, probably do a bit of like an intro of what this character is or how I build it in just a bit. Let me just get through this cohort of mobs around me, and I could actually do a bit more for you guys in just a bit. Hang on. I have not been doing a live recording for quite some time. Usually I pre-record these days. Yeah, make it a little bit easier to talk and yeah. And by the way, you see the energy here. Well, it's not really energy, is it? I think it's energy. Some of the ability requires some energy to execute. So once I run out of it, I could either eat an energy potion, which you can see here, or just do a spend kind of thing. Let me just continue doing this guy here. Yeah, I mean, my wife have some quite kind of interesting thing going on. She can heal me as well. Now, before I get in there, just wait for me. Just a quick talk about the, there's a question mark here. What do I do? You have reached level 10. Oh, yeah, passive skill. So now, just to talk a little bit about the skill tree here. The skill tree is kind of interesting. As you level, you gain some points, and the point can be spent on leveling up your skill. Now, it's not that complicated. It kind of reminds me of the good old World of Warcraft power tree kind of configuration, as well as back in the old days when I play the Marvel Heroes. They have power rank as well. So the primary skill and secondary skill, you have 3 to pick from. You can either go for Shadow Shock or Toxic Bloom or Chaos Hit, which is kind of different kind of damage type. Whether I want dark energy, toxic damage, or the dark damage. So I think, well, these two are dark damage kind of thing. So that's one option. You can pick any of these guys. You could actually configure the node to advance into the next stage of the power. So the node itself could be like hit chance or damage bonus kind of thing, or it could be something else like aggro bonus or crit hit. So I think if I'm going to play a tank, and if my wife's going to play a healer, then I probably need to use Toxic Bloom as to hold the aggro. That is probably one way to play it. So each one of those power would kind of have skill, have some kind of thing that makes sense along the way. It doesn't really say in the tooltip that this is more for tanking, but as you look at all these bonus point along the way, you'll probably see what I mean by that. So that is this is also for aggro, but this is purely for DPS. So that's one thing. And secondary skill also, you could advance accordingly to whatever that you need to do. That there's a left click. So right click is more or less like the generator. The left click was generator. Then right click is more like the spend the energy to cast something. So I like to have this thing. And as you advance the point there, you could actually get into a different kind of power setup. So in for example, let me just give an example. Right? This one is to deal dark damage to enemies in an arc. Then the other one is within a maximum range of 5 and leech their health as well. So this one is health leeching. So it changes accordingly. You have to drag and drop into here if you want, or if not, then you can still go for this guy if you don't need this guy. Same as this one as well. It gives you a little bit of different kind of aggro bonus as well. And there are other advanced skills, 1, 2, 3, 4 as well that I can pick so far. There's one that is called Nothingness, which is more you project a ball in front and then sort of hit something. And also it's a lot of aggro going on. The other one is the kind of taunts. Then the third one is the toxic hold, which eventually I could do a kind of leech. I think maybe one of them do a leech. I can't remember which one to do a leech. Suppose yeah. So this one is that this is taunt. So there's quite a lot of the interesting stuff going on. All right. So I have 5 more points, but so far I haven't really got a chance to take a look at what I need. And something called vampirism, which is kind of new. Well, still I really have a choice to pick anything, so I just pick one of this guy maybe. All right, so that is one. Okay, so I'll just have this as my passive. Click OK. Now you could actually reset some of these things here, but I think before level 15 is free. After that, there is a restriction. However, if you pay for the Deluxe Edition or Ultimate Edition, this one comes free as well as mounts as well, which I think is quite useful. Now, my wife is, hang on a second, she's hope that she doesn't, her character doesn't die here, because after that, okay, let me just try to save her. Where is she? I think she needs to heal out a bit. So I'm just going to do a dungeon in just a bit to show you how it works. Alright, so let's just do it. So now the dungeon wise, you could actually pick quite a few configuration. So for example, you go in here, you can have the level 1 difficulty, level 2, level 3. So usually we do a 2. 2 is rather challenging, by the way. Actually quite challenging. Quite challenging. So they have the what in the world are these, man? This current equipment, whatever. So I just go into the middle one. So my wife is going for middle one as well. So this is the dungeon whereby we can do together. It's 2 of us. It's actually rather hard. So it's and I'll talk about loot in just a bit, how that work. So this is the range kind of like power. Yeah. So there's a special Ember. I think this speed boost. You try not to echo everything at the same time, so you work as a team to do together. Oh wow, my wife has some really special power. So yeah, I mean the key is not to echo everything. And you have to pop the bar in a bit. So then you have to, like, it's quite a, you have to pop the health potion in a bit, and you try not to. Can I just pick this thing up? No, cannot. I want to see whether I can pick up this thing or not. No, I can't. Oh wait. Yeah, I heard quite a fair bit though. Alright, so that is 1.
I can hear you.
And so let me just do a heal myself kind of thing. Yep. It's kind of interesting because I think the dungeon looked a bit different, right, from yesterday. I don't recall the dungeon looked like this one yesterday. So it could be kind of random in some sense. We are still very new to Guardians of Ember. Alright, just a bit of care here, because there's a lot here. Heal. Alright, so that is the leader. There's a chest here. Yeah, so well, that would be okay. So there's some loot here. I'll show you how the loot work in just a bit, maybe. Okay, let's push on. Let's just go forward. Oh, inventory full. So now let me just sort out my inventory here for you. So how the inventory work is that it press B, and after that you can salvage a lot of, like, it's just like World of Warcraft, salvage a lot of, like, white items. You just don't need that kind of thing. It becomes like mats that you can do in just a bit. So let's just pick up the thing. Yeah, just wait for me because okay, I think my wife is all like, yeah. So as you can see, right, it's not that trivial. Let's move together. It's not that trivial. I have to pull for a bit of like a strategic movement. You have to make sure that you kind of like aware of what, and there are range people that does range. Yep. So I'm healing. Combo kill. So there's another one here. So if you do die, which I have died once while trying all these things, there is you can actually do a couple options. Either you respawn at the entry of the dungeon, which I think is they require some like material or whatnot, or you could actually do something like the. Oh, that's hard, man. Let's pull back a bit. Or you can respawn in I think at the at the nearest town or something like that. So there are a couple of options, but there are penalty as well if you kind of like, wait, I have some quests here. Do you have some quests here? There's some penalty like the durability of the items. That's what I meant. All right, done. Complete the quest. So I guess it's boss time. I pop some potion here. So that's done. I can choose my reward. I think it's either a... I think there are some keys around. There's some enchanted key, golden key or whatnot. So I don't know. These are all... The loot boxes are in the color of silver. So I don't really have a choice but to pick an iron card thing. I still haven't figured out how to earn any of these things. If you see a gold, then you pick a gold. Otherwise, just pick anything. You know, I think this is silver. So I use a silver key to pick one. And it has like the heavy armor, which is actually an upgrade, I think, or not. We'll see. So now, how this thing works after I've got the loot is that let's just pick all these things up. So now let's sort our inventory in front of you, and you can understand what I'm trying to say here. So you look at the inventory here. Let's just first of all throw all the white items away. I'm not looking at it. So after that, I can do a sort as well. Okay, so now how it works is that you should go backward. This is the card that you can use to kind of like add the lore into the compendium, or you can set it off, which I've already added, so there's nothing I can do here. This one I can add it into my companion on what is a boar, and this is already in my companion. A shield, you see the attack speed minus 1%, healing is neutral, and the defense is 10.7. So it's nice. It tells you, you know, precisely this is the kind of stat summary that I really wanted in Marvel Heroes that I couldn't see. Something that Diablo 3 as well as I believe Path of Exile give you kind of overall summary, which is kind of nice. So I know confidently I can use this one. So I'm using this guy here. This one I can throw away. So this guy here, defense minus, attack minus, so I'm not using it at all. And by the way, some of them are not bounded to you. So this one is binds on equip. I could, oh, this is a light one, so I could potentially give it to my wife in just a bit. The hand wise, this one, I think green item, my wife probably not interested in it, so it's another one I can throw away. This is yet another light one. So light armor I'm not using, I'm using heavy armor, so these are all not useful to me. This one also not useful to me, and not in the... So this is heavy, but you know, my attack is minus 8.8, so it's no good. Then I've got another heavy, everything is minus, so it's no good. That is also not good, and that is also not good. You know, in every game you go, you kind of have to figure out all these things eventually. Okay, I've got the bounded one-hand weapon, which is kind of worse than the one I've got, so I don't... Well, actually, you know what? This is something that I've wanted to keep it to myself and do some kind of theory crafting in, if I really get around to. Area is going to reset soon, so I better go back out. Oh wow! There's some chests here. Luckily, I saw that. Otherwise, I would have missed that as well. Hang on. Let me just continue doing this inventory thingy. So inventory-wise, let me see. I've also picked up something just now. So this is a shirt. Oh, this is kind of nice. It gives me defense, gives me healing, but my attack is minus. So I guess don't think too hard. Seems to me that a bit of more healing. So I don't know. It's toughy. And this is white, and this one is green. And I have a level 9 gift box that will keep, like, you know, any free-to-play game. Well, this is not really free-to-play, but it's something that to entice you keep leveling, I think. This is the bait, and that is a delicious dessert. Dessert. Yeah, I don't know what this one is. Oh, I can, if I have my house. So yeah, I think there's a housing as well. Alright, so that is basically all the stuff that I need to... Housewarming gift. Woohoo! I think there's a player housing as well in this game, if I'm not wrong. So now what it means is that I could actually trade something like the... I'll try to trade this one to my wife if she wants it. And we'll see how the trade goes as well. See, a lot of like intro in this game. So she needs to accept the trade, very much like Path of Exile. But, you know, sometimes it just doesn't work. Can you trade me instead? Okay, anyway, not sure why we can't do trading, but I think in some sense, it's this game is still a kind of buggy. Okay, got it. Okay, so I could give it to her, and she'll mouse over and see whether she needs it or not. Then she'll say, yeah, it's good stuff. Then we okay. Then after that, you click transaction to effect the transaction, and that's it. And for the rest of the item that I'm not using, for example, all this green, I could actually kind of like disenchant them, whatever you call it, them. And that is it. That is done. And as for the gear wise, I mean, eventually things will lose durability. Like I think some of them has durability. Like if once you die, of course, then you lose durability and so on. So those are just a very quick overview of what this game is about. I think you just have to keep progressing, and mob keep respawning, unlike say D3 or others that once you kill it, it's gone. And oh, you've got a mount. How do you do it? Oh yeah, that's true. And having a mount will probably make things a lot easier. There's a special item.
The second step.
Yeah, so this is the mount. So why not just do a mount as well? So how do I do that after that?
No, right click again.
Right click. Alright, so with a mount, things will go a lot faster, I hope. But yeah, so all these are pros. What are the cons? Now I found that the story is not really that. I mean, the story is not that entertaining at all. But as for any ARPG, it's probably not the story that play a part. I mean, I think I've gone through a story. I don't even know what is happening with my character, and I don't really grow anything deep in love or whatnot with the character. But in terms of the the graphic wise, I mean, the graphic is beautiful. I mean, this girl is kind of nice. What other classes are there? There are actually this is an all-female class called Nia. My wife is playing an elf, which can be a male or female. There is also something called the dwarf as well as human. Dwarf is all male, I think. Human is something that is human is male and female. But the problem I have with this game so far is that it lacks quite a fair bit, because there are two servers. One is the American server, one is the European server. I don't belong to any one of those, and I realized that the frame rate dropped quite a fair bit when I start to engage kind of like enemies. So. But I've been playing a lot of games, so I haven't really seen one that is so intensive in terms of graphic or even latency. So so the latency kind of affect this game quite a fair bit. I see like freezes here and there. And also the graphic wise right now is one of the better graphic options, but I mean there are a lot of like customization in the graphic as well, which I haven't really gone too much. But I think if I reduce the bloom and full screen glow as well as depth of field, then my frame rate can increase back from 50 to 60. But then it is not the frame. I think up to 40 I'm okay with it, but the problem is that once it suddenly drop, like when the new area get loaded or when the enemy comes, that is the part when the frame rate drop to say 30 or whatnot. Then it suddenly feel that the game's kind of lag, which I haven't really seen that kind of like sluggish kind of gameplay in other ARPG that I've played so far. So I don't know. This is actually quite a main concern. The game itself for $15. Base game is $15 for my currency, but I think American dollar as well, which is fine. And right now there's a promotion, so you can get the deluxe DLC free, which come with the mount as well as unlimited reset of your power, which I think is really important. So normally you have to pay $30 for it, but during this promotion period it's $15, so I think it's really worth it. But the only thing that I really have concern is just the performance of it, because it's kind of sluggish. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. And if you do play look at the way she walk, man. If you do play the Ember of Guardians of Ember as well, do let me know in the comments box. How does it going along with you? I mean, do you find it fun? Is there anything that you find it like tips that I like to share and stuff like that? I mean, do feel free to comment. I mean, this channel is very like friendly in terms of people sharing experience and so on. So yeah, I mean, I'm still trying this thing out. What? Hang on a sec. I'm getting attacked by this surgeon there. Yep. So let me just get to some safer area. So let me know in the comment box below how this one go for you. Something that you like. And one thing I also really like is the full customization of the character. In ARPG, it's kind of rare to see that, but I can actually choose like 4 different faces. I can twist all the configuration. Like there are tons of configuration. Like you want the character to be taller, to be more you know how well was it? Yeah. It's just a different kind of body figure to it. You can be tall, it can be thinner, fatter. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can pick from. So, from a customization perspective, I haven't seen an action game that is so much like freedom to customize stuff. So yeah, that's all from me. And if I continue playing, then you'll see more video on this one. Otherwise, well, it's just one of those one-off review of the game. All right, see you next time. Goodbye.